Hi everyone, welcome to Newcastle Fans TV. This is the last word, the wrap up of all the videos. It's been a long one, another late night kickoff for Newcastle. We'll do it all again for Liverpool in a few days' time. Newcastle have 4 days rest, but this is the last word, and we are going to be looking at the lineups. We'll talk about the first half, second half. We've also got a clip from Brandon, who's going to be chatting about possible transfer targets that he wants to see come in. And we've got a clip not from Steve Bruce, because I've had enough of him, but Pep Guardiola instead, because I wanted to change it up a little bit because I don't want to hear about Mr. Bruce. But let's crack on with it. We'll also take a look at the league table as well, by the way. But yeah, let's crack on with it. So we'll take a look at the lineup. And it surprises us all, didn't it, with Newcastle. Just going to take the ticker off at the bottom there so you can see the substitutes at the bottom there. If you look at the subs, Wilson obviously rested, had a bit of a niggle. Jamal Lewis back onto the bench as well, getting a rest. Sean Langstaff has had a few games in concession. He is on the bench as well. Great to see Elliot Anderson. Disappointed that he didn't come off and make his debut, but back to wing backs. Look, against Manchester City, I expected it. Do I want it? No, but I expected it. But Fabian Schär just out of the blue comes out with knee-wear in the starting 11. Of course, the big one is Matty, who's pictured out from the cold into the starting 11, not even on the bench, straight in. I actually thought his performance was actually all right. We'll come to Matty in a minute, but Richie back to the left wing back, had no problems with that. No Paul Dummett, no John Joe Shelby in that lineup, or even matchday squad, no Jeff Hendrick. So there's a few people missing. Obviously, we know ESM and Jamal Lascelles have COVID issues, but I wasn't too massively, apart from the two with Fabian Schär, Matty Longstaff and Wilson, they're the three. I wasn't too worried about the rest. I expected Bruce to go at 5 at the back. We'll also have a look at Manchester City's as well. Let's have a look at what Manchester City's lineup was. So this is how City lined up. The big one with them is that Aguero was back on the bench. They had Phil Foden, Laporte, who's been kept out the side by John Stones, currently in the minute as well. So John Stones is having an excellent run of form back in. We all thought that he would be moving away from the club. That midfield, very strong, including out wide, Gundogan, Rodrigo, De Bruyne, Bernardo, Torres as well, Sterling. So still strong. Bernardo Silva is still a quality player. Sterling out wide was strong, and even though they've signed Torres, not really as a striker, he's come in and done the business. So it's still strong, a very still strong side for Newcastle to try and cope with. And when we got into the first 5 to 10 minutes, Newcastle actually started really well. I wasn't too concerned that the first 5-10 minutes. We started bright, more on the attack. I was like, bloody hell, where's this came from? This isn't Newcastle. Is this Spennymoor in disguise? Is this Juventus, that attack of Manchester City? But as the game started to die down, Manchester City then started to have a lot of possession, a lot of the ball, and there was a lot of running off the pitch for a lot of other players. Praise for Matty Longstaff, because he must have put some graft and some running tonight. Massive praise. Like I say, coming out the cold from Norway, he was chasing a lot of shadows, yes, but a lot of the work off the ball. So I'm giving praise to Matty from coming out from Norway, because he's thrown in he's like kind of thrown into a corner where you've got to react. And yeah, a lot of the stuff off the ball he was good at. On the ball, didn't see enough because Newcastle didn't have much possession. But Manchester City were causing a lot of problems through over the top balls. But it led to the first goal, which was very disappointing, because Matt Ritchie, for me, I know Almiron's obviously further up the field, he's got to do better. But when the ball comes and De Bruyne plays it in to Torres, I think it was it Torres who clips it into Ritchie, into Shelby, sorry, but Ritchie's man and Ritchie's awareness around him he's not clued up. And, Sterling cuts it back. He's looking for options, and maybe whoever's not marking Gundogan should do a lot better. But Manchester City go 1-0 up, and you're thinking, no, the floodgates have opened. Yeah, how many more are City gonna score? So 1-0 down, but it was. I think we were chatting on the match day zone video, the watch along. We were like, if we can get it at half time with 1-0 down, because Manchester City's central defenders were in midfield positions. So the logic was get it at half time, just 1-0 down, and you're still in the game. I know it's not great that you want to hear that you're getting beaten, you want to stay in the game, but let's face it, Manchester City have way more quality than what Newcastle United have. Even if Rafa was in charge, I could see Rafa being defensive in this game as well, because the quality, the levels, they're just miles apart, aren't they? Second half kicks off. City score fairly early on. Do you want to call it that? But again, it's poor marking. It really is. And you've got to point the finger here at Miguel Almiron, whose form's been very much indifferent. You might say that Steve Bruce is finger that pointed at Steve Bruce as well. My cat's meowing in the background. That's what's just put me off there. But yeah, it's 2-0. Miggy's not tracking his Cancelo, I think it is, whips the ball in. Fernandes is a little bit unlucky not to clear it. But then it falls to Torres. It's just on a play from him. He's got all the goal to aim at. It's 2-0, and he's been very impressive with his start in his Manchester United career. But that was disappointing because that kind of knocked our hope out, because we're 2-0 down away at City. Got to start going for it. Obviously, we've seen some substitutions. The likes of Jamal Lewis came on for Richie once Richie was booked. You've seen Carroll come on, Dwight Gale come on. But again, it took a while for Newcastle to muster a shot, if you want to call it that. Murphy tried to have a curler. It's the goalkeeper, Edison. Murphy obviously made Edison force a save, but for me, the goalkeeper wasn't tested enough for me, and it was an easy night in the horrible conditions for Manchester City. And yeah, disappointing that we didn't go for the jugular a little bit more, because if you're 2-0 down, why not? Why not go for it? You may as well get beat 3-0 or 4-0, but like I say, I expected Newcastle to get beat tonight. I've got no hope in the manager at the moment. You all know how I feel about Steve Bruce currently in the moment. He's just not for me. Not for me whatsoever. Not for me. But that leaves Newcastle currently in the league table. If you look at it now, Newcastle are sitting in 12th position as they were. We could have dropped if we got a heavy defeat, because Palace got beat as well earlier on today. But Newcastle sitting in 12th. But if you look at 18th, 7 points away, we're still all right. We're still in a comfortable-ish position. I know we've got Liverpool, so I expect Fulham and Brighton to claw that back a little bit more by the time we have played Liverpool. Obviously, we play right towards the end of all the next fixtures, because a lot of teams are playing in under 48 hours. So we'll see where we are on the table. And then you've got Leicester. If it forward another defeat against Leicester, again, you're looking over your shoulder to see where Brighton, Fulham, even Burnley to some extent. But I think Burnley will pull away. They're picking up a lot more points now, but not worried just yet. But there's caution to be have where Newcastle are currently at the minute. But I'm also going to be reading some of your comments out at the end of the video as well. Notable mentions, Hayden, great to see him back in centre midfield. I've talked about Matty as well. I thought he performed well. Carl Darlow is another one who deserves a bit of praise tonight as well. Apart from that, you're looking around, think there's a lot of poor performances as well. Matt Ritchie was poor for me tonight. Miguel Almiron was another one. DeAndre Yedlin had loads of space. It at times as well. Joe Linton was just a ghost. I think anybody who played up front would have been a ghost tonight. But yeah, it's not great, is it? But what can you do? We do have a couple of clips to come up next, and then we'll read out some of your messages in the chat as well. The first one is from Pep Guardiola, because I didn't want to hear from Steve Bruce tonight. And this is Pep Guardiola's thoughts on the game. This is just under a minute long.
Really well, a tough game for the weather conditions, for the opponent. The last seasons we struggled a lot to score goals. So it was the day of the season we played in the tempo that we need to play. So we are a team like you have to make a lot of passes or run not much and attack in the right moment. So today our positional game was perfect, every player in his position. Our back three in our build-up, they commit really well, and unfortunately we could have scored more goals, 4 or 5, but it's a good result after what happened with West Bromwich. And 3 more points, but not much time to think about it, because in 45 hours we'll back.
Yeah, Manchester City are back very quick in action. So although Guardiola did say in that clip he wanted more goals, it was a good performance by Manchester City, and you can't really argue against that. They deserve to win, they dominated the game, what have you. But, you know, the attention will start to turn, obviously, Liverpool in a few days' time, but also the transfer window opens next week as well. Will Newcastle go in the market and get a couple of loans? I could see that happening. but Newcastle have a 25-man squad. A couple of people will need to come out, and you're expecting, for me, possibly the departures of DeAndre Yedlin, even Dwight Gale, even possibly Andy Carroll if he goes out. Maybe has a loan spell, I don't know, because I know there's talks with Sam Allardyce. But speaking of transfers, I asked Brandon to send in a clip about which area should Newcastle start and look at. Here it is.
I would say on the left back side, for sure we need people in. I would definitely go for Jethro Willems, my fellow countryman. He's flirting with us. He sounds like he's want to go and come back to us. So I would definitely go for him. Besides that, another prospect I would say is Denzel Dumfries. Although, as he comes as well from PSV Eindhoven, he's probably has a price tag around 20 million, so I don't see actually paying that for him. But if we can get a loan from him for PSV Eindhoven, I would definitely take it. I cannot see that happen, but I would all day go for Jethro Willems. Besides that, we definitely need someone in front next to Callum Wilson, because he is lacking up in front. He's struggling over there. He needs someone from the midfield probably as well, but I cannot really think about who we should bring in there. If I have to name someone who we could use in front, it has to be Josh King. Although I don't think I'm not sure if there's a price tag for him. It probably is. But if you can get him on loan somehow, I don't think Bournemouth will do that. But if it will be great, and if somehow Mike actually finds some money in his pocket, I would definitely pay down for Josh King. Let's see if he wants to reunite with Callum Wilson and Ryan Fraser. That's a plus for us, that he might want to come to us to see his fellow teammates. But I cannot really see it happen. It's going to be a long season, lads. But Lee, that's it.
That was it. That was Brandon's thoughts. So a left back, a right back, and a striker. You mentioned a couple of names there. I think he just likes Dutch players. Obviously, Brandon being Dutch, just wants to bring in all the Dutch squad. Wants to bring Jethro back, which I can understand because he was brilliant for us. Dumfries is across on the right-hand side, so maybe. And then Joshua King from Bournemouth as well. Let us know what you think of that, because the tension will turn. I've got the hiccups now. The tension will turn to transfer windows. We're going to read your comments out before we wrap up, because it's been a long one. Jay in Atlanta says, didn't hate the lineup for an away 5-1 against a great team as well, yeah. Obviously, Thomas has said, where was Matty since? Great question. Love to know. Brucey might be waiting a while for his 17th win. Yeah, could be. It's got to be next year, isn't it? Do you think Andy will leave, in January, says Thomas? Potentially, but are you worried? Are you concerned? Yeah. Cat and happy with our performance. The cat is outside. He probably heard me stumble my words a little bit earlier when the picture on was Jason. It's meowing to be back in, but I'm not letting them in. Newcastle, yeah, I seen the stat earlier. Newcastle have lost more Boxing Days than any other team in Premier League history, because we always seem to play against the big boys. Jane, I appreciate the graph from you and the NFTV team. Tough team today. Tough day. Great vids all day. Thank you very much, Jay. Yeah, we've been going since 7 o'clock, so over 5 hours of live content interacting with all of you across the world. I think today was the first time I've ever looked forward to watching our game. Just feel so dispassionate about our games at the moment. On that, I was actually expecting a defeat. I don't feel as bad today. Obviously, with Brentford, I was furious. And you have seen the last word videos. I wasn't pleasant, put it that way. And the last one is, only good thing about following Newcastle right now is you guys. And that's a fantastic comment to end on, Ed Coles. Thank you very much for that. We're going to have a rest tomorrow with NFTV, but we will be back on, I don't even know what day of the week it is because of Christmas. It's Saturday today, isn't it? Sunday, probably Monday for a preview. We might get the Redmen boys involved as well, but that is it. That's a wrap for all the videos. Go back and check them. If you haven't seen them, comment on them as well. Like the video if you can. That does help us push the video rankings up on YouTube. But yeah, enjoy your night wherever you are across the world. Thank you for watching NFTV. Ta-ra, everyone. Bye-bye.